What's going on, folks? Brian here, back with another update for my automated drink machine project using the Make Block Me Orion board. That's based off the Arduino Uno. I got two solenoid valves. It was a 12-volt DC hooked up to the board right now, and I'm about to get started. But first, let me show you some things. I've had some serious problems trying to program this board to do exactly what I wanted. And the main goal of this project was to be able to pour all the motors I had, of all the ingredients I had at the same time. So that would mean opening all the motors, not wait for one, open another. I've seen all over the internet people making drink machines that go, right? It takes forever. I could pour faster than that. I'm sure my wife, who doesn't even know how to make drinks, I'm sure she could pour faster than that. She makes me make the drinks. I tell you what, that's going to get me into trouble. But let's move on. So the first thing I did to accomplish this is making a object array using my motors. I got motor 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now I just have obviously motor 1 and 2 that are hooked up, but the rest are in the program and will function. They're just not hooked up to anything, but you'll get to see the code. So to do an array, it's 0 index based. So you have to go one more than the number of objects in the array. So 1, 2, 3, 4 motors. I need to declare it as a 5. And so read string, I think you've seen all this stuff before. It's going to wait for a string, take whatever I send it, turn it into little bits and pieces. In other words, D1 equals the string between positions 0 and 1. So that's 1 through 4. That's your drink, your shot, your drink, your shot, yada, yada, yada. And then the length is important to this program because it takes the string and determines the length of the string. And here's another thing. You have to account for the white space character, the invisible character that's it reads. So it's always going to read one more than what you got. So if you gave it 8, it's going to return a number of 9. So you just account for that. So basic program that only has 2 elements is going to have a length of 3, and there's my code to run just a simple 1 or 2, 2 or 1, a vodka and a rum, or a tequila and a one shot, right? So not that complicated. What is big here with the motor and having a motor array is I don't need to have if 1, if 2, if 3, if 4. I don't need that anymore. I don't. All I need is motor, bracket, and then the position of the motor based on the input. So if you gave me 1, it's really going to be 0, motor 0, which is going to be motor 1. It's confusing, but remember, you got to count backwards to get to where you want. If I put just the number, motor D1, that would give me, for instance, 1 would actually be motor 2 because it's the second position in the array. 0 is the first, number 1 is the second, number 3, and so on. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is the position of the motors. That's why you have to count backwards. So an input of 2, minus 1, that gives you a motor location which lines up with 1, which is actually motor 2. So anyways, and then I'm thinking, okay, so I got all these motors. Now how am I going to decide the time? Which time is greater? Because I want all these things to fire off at the same time, but I don't want them all to be on at the same time. A 2-1 and a 2-2, if I just did a delay, they're both going to give me 2 shots worth of drinks. And I can't have that. I need 1 to fire, 1 to turn off. So doing that, I found the millis command. It returns the number of milliseconds since the program began running. And that's huge, because when you start getting into these long lengths, to try to program this without using a reference, a time reference, would be almost impossible. It would be so convoluted, it would take up so much memory, it just wouldn't be clean. For instance, if I have a length of 5 in the string array, which is really 4 characters, so 1, 2, 2, 1, yada yada, 4, 1, whatever. you take both motors, whatever they are, whatever position they are, because I don't care what motor they are. I care what the value it outputs as. For instance, D1 could be 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. That's actually motor 3. All right? It all works out mathematically. But here's where it gets interesting. Start pour equals millis. So that is a snapshot in time when the motors start. How long has the program been running? It's all referenced. So if it's been running 10 seconds, it'd be 10,000, right? And then I put a do loop in there. And then I say, what about the previous millis? And that's just a name you can make up. It could be anything. That is the time right now. So I'm comparing the time it started to the time it is right now, and I'm saying, hey, if the time right now, or the one that I last called, is greater than or equal to the time it took plus the amount of time it would take to make a shot, well then shut down the motor. Whatever motor that is, and I can do an if statement for each one of these motors in the overall do loop. So a length of 4 has 2 motors, a length of 7, which is 6 characters, has 3 motors, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, I'm saying drink 1 is done, drink 2, drink 3, drink 4. So you can see that the values are getting passed. And each time I'm doing this, it's doing while the previous millis is less than or equal to the start pour, plus the shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, shot 4 times a delay multiplier that I factored in there just so I can see this work, and I want a little bit of like a 1 second delay after this is all done. But as you can see, this code is not long at all. And actually, it's nice and concise and clear. And I tell you what, man, I had like 8 pages of code before I stopped and said, I gotta do this better. Because I can scale this up with this code to 100 motors if I want to, and it would all be the same. Now, enough of me rambling. Let's get down to the business. So I got this turned on. I got the 2 motors connected. Let's go over here to my serial monitor. I'm going to connect. And here it is, man. I got whiskeys. I got vodkas. So real quickly, let's see if they all look the same. If they all have the same number of shots. So I'll do a 4-1, a 2-1, a 1-1, and a 3-1. All the same amount of time, but obviously different ingredients. Let's see what happens. Whoa, look at it go. And it went on real quick. And here's pretty much my way to debug. It's outputting. So you can see the program started and it finished. So it starts, and this again is the time that the program's been running. It's just all relative. So it's mixing a drink at 26.88, right? And then you go all the way down, and at 27.88 it should have stopped. 6.8, I mean. Yeah, right on the money. So real quick, I'll do one that has like, let's do 2, 1, 4, and then I don't know, 3, 1, and a 4, 1. So that equals 2 shots of rum, 4 shots of vodka, one shot of whiskey, and 1 shot of tequila. I don't think I'll want to drink this, but anyways, let's see this bad boy run. Bam! Shuts off, and the program is complete. And to test this, again, I'm just looking at the times. And as you can see, this is amazing because 3 and 4 get done first, obviously, because they only had a shot each. And then, right, you scroll down, and then bam, drink 1 shut off. Because remember, drink 1 only had, what did drink 1 have? I don't even, drink 1 had 4 shots. So that shut down, and then that one shut down. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 were done.